Hey there, it's Jean-Marc again, and we're talking about this thing called LinkedIn social selling. And now, a big use of this whole LinkedIn social selling is going to be InMails. If you have a saved lead, you will have the option on the right hand side where it says send InMail. And when you try to send InMail, let's see what happens when we click this guy over here. We're going to have a little box that pops up, and it's going to give us an option to send an InMail. Now, why are InMails important? First off, because InMails allow us to reach people not only via the LinkedIn messaging app, but it allows us to reach them via email. It allows us to reach them via the app as well, right? So when folks have the LinkedIn app on there, you know that when they receive a message, it pings them. So imagine your ideal prospect, your ideal lead, they're walking around with their mobile on them and they get a ping and it says that you've sent them a message. This is what InMail allows us to do, and all with one simple tool. So here are some ground rules and some things I found out about InMail. Let me be perfectly honest with you. So InMail, although it is a great tool, and I found that it can be useful in certain situations, it's going to be a bit less personal. LinkedIn does a really good job about sending the InMail only when your specific user is using LinkedIn. That's great, but it's often less personal than just connecting with a potential lead, like I've showed you in the last program, and just messaging them. They also don't tend to be answered as much because they go into your messaging app, and you've probably gotten a few if you've been on LinkedIn, so I won't bother showing you an InMail, but you get the idea. It has a nice header and it has a nice subject line, and that people can be asking, who the heck is this? So for these reasons, it can be a tough nut to crack. But again, because it allows you to hit your specific lead in all these different ways, it's definitely worth using as part of your arsenal for LinkedIn social selling. So when it comes to doing your InMails, we're going to recommend really 3 different things. The first thing is to, when you're writing an InMail, is to start socially. Okay, you want to start with points of familiarity with your lead, like we talked about. If you want to mention specific things that you've done, specific things you have in common, you'll see over here when it comes to LinkedIn's tips for doing InMail correctly, we're going to agree on a lot of the same things. Like they say, you want to start socially. So if you have things in common like sports or community events, LinkedIn is saying here, similar education history. If you've been in the same job, if you both happen to work for Salesforce, what have you, these are great things to mention. Next, what you want to follow up with is a quick pitch. And it is exactly what it sounds like. You want to get to the point. Who you are, what you do, what you offer. Okay? So if you offer business process management, and you also help this company improve their customer engagement through data, then you want to make sure you do make that as clear as possible. I run Super Sam Consulting Services, and we help with, boom, tell them. Pitch them quick. And then lastly, you want to call them to action. You want to make sure that you're asking for something specific. So oftentimes people will use LinkedIn InMail for things like webinars or to start a trial, because it's a really obvious call to action. But you can also use it to ask for a call. Just make sure you add that at the end of your InMail, right? So to review real quick, you're going to start socially, then you're going to pitch quickly, and then you're going to call them to action. All right. So in that sense, it's going to be somewhat similar to our messaging in LinkedIn Confident Connector. One great thing that the InMail does provide is that on the bottom of our InMails here, they automatically share with us stuff we have in common and things we can mention to start socially. So we have our shared contacts here at the bottom. We have the recent articles our leads have shared and anything they've commented on. It's all there, so we can include that in our specific pitch. All right. So thank you for watching this video, and I want you to stay tuned for the next one, where we're going to talk about another really cool sales social sales tool that LinkedIn allows us with this Sales Navigator tool, and that's the ability to follow on updates. Okay, so meet me for the next video where we'll talk about following updates. See you then.